college basketball report. Duke finally got it in gear on Sunday to win the ACC and the top seed in the East will have their first game live. The Kentucky Wildcats are under full throttle, and they're the #1 Southeast team. We'll see them live Friday. Is Kansas on track for Destination Dallas? They've had some close calls in the Big 8 tournament, but Larry's lads are top dog in the Midwest. Live coverage Thursday. And thanks to winning on the friendly Garden floor, St. John's packs up for Long Beach. The Redmen again the top team in the West. It's tournament time on the College Basketball Report.
National Car Rental presents the College Basketball Report with Bob Lee and Dick Vitale.
Well, here we are, the big board. The Great Wall of Hoop is up. Dick Vitale, along with yours truly, Bob Lee. The College Basketball Report. You were admiring that little footwork by Luke Carnesecca like the days you used to do it. It's tournament time. Last year, Villanova wrote the fairy tale. We're going to have a fairy tale this year.
Bob, I don't believe we can have one because of the shot clock. I think the shot clock really eliminates that from happening. Too many possessions. I think we're going to see one of the top 16 seeded teams win the national championship.
All right, now you're going to take one of the top 16. What are the common denominators, the qualities they all share that you can put out for us quickly that you need at this point in March? Single elimination, which is now these meaningless conference tournament games are. What do they have?
Well, number one, you got to play consistent defense. I don't believe you can win unless that's a common denominator. Number two, you got to have a player that can carry you, a star player. Pearl Washington's on a roll right now as they use that cliche. A guy like that that's hot becomes contagious. It can carry the whole club. Number three, you need a lot of discipline and shot selection and patience. I really believe those factors are vital to winning a national title.
I know that you feel that Duke has it. They are the #1 team in the country. You were down in Greensboro, watched the ACC championship. They finally got it all together on Sunday. Let's take a look at exactly some of the people, for example, Johnny Dawkins, All-American guy. Are they peaking now?
Johnny Dawkins, a great talent, makes the big play, wants the ball at crush time. He just is an outstanding athlete. I happen to like the Duke basketball team. They find a way to win. A lot of teams find a way to lose. They find the right way to make the right play at a crucial time.
Mark Ellery there now. It's not a great year for college centers. Duke has really never had a true center, so that really this year especially is not going to be a detriment.
Well, I don't know if it's not going to be a detriment if you have to hook up with a William Bedford, for example. I think Memphis State's going to be very, very dangerous. You look at their losses, Bob, but they got the big guy in the middle, and he could be a dominant player. I would rather have the big guy on my side. You look at a John Sally at Georgia Tech, a Bedford, Roy Tarpley could turn a game around for Michigan. I think that might be a problem for Duke ultimately. I really do.
Well, we have got live coverage of Duke. Let's go plug them into the big board. Walk this way. Let's check out the East. The first 4 games will be played on Thursday in Greensboro. Duke takes on Mississippi Valley State, the winners of the Southwest Athletic Conference. Old Dominion, one of the bids out of the Sun Belt, takes on West Virginia. These winners will meet in the first weekend. Virginia's in the tournament. DePaul is there, and that surprised more than a few people. Oklahoma takes on Northeastern. You'll have a chance to take a look at Reggie Lewis. Again, these 4 games will be on Thursday in Charlotte. Now, the second 4 games in the Eastern Regional will be played in Syracuse, and that'll happen on Friday. St. Joe's, champions of the Atlantic 10, taking on Richmond. And let's take a look at Indiana matching up against Cleveland State, because Cleveland State, the highest scoring team in the country, 11 times they have been over 100 points, and they've got Clinton Ramsey, who will in the near corner get this rebound and do something with it, the brother of Kelvin.
Well, you know, contrasting styles. You're going to watch a team that uses the whole full court, run with the basketball. Mouse McFadden, unbelievably dangerous with the ball.
Kevin Mackey is the head coach of the Vikings.
We beat you more 10-on-5. I don't know if we can beat anyone 5-on-5. That's half decent. But 10-on-5, it's been very effective for us. And we have a lot of guys that were overlooked for one reason or the other. And they're hungry. And when they don't work hard enough, I throw that in their face that no one wanted you. That's why you're here with me. And maybe together we can get something done. And the kids have been terrific.
If there's anything the Vikings do, it's score. 11 games over 100 points, as we said. If there's anything Indiana does, it's defend. But they're coming off a thrashing from Michigan.
Well, you know, Michigan's a super basketball team, especially at home, Bob. They got so much talent. But Mouse McFadden, that's the guy that I'm really intrigued about. Ask the guys now to DePaul. When he went in that arena, he hooked up against a really heralded player, Rod Strickland, and when it was all done, it was an M&M-er, a mismatch. Mouse McFadden. I'll tell you something, General Knight, you better really be prepared to neutralize this jet with the basketball because he's a penetrator deluxe.
All right, that game is Friday at Syracuse, and the winner again plays St. Joe's Richmond winner. Navy, which beat LSU last year, plays Tulsa for the right to take on the Syracuse Brown winner. Again, all 4 games here in the bottom half of that bracket in the East are being played in Syracuse on Friday, and I know you're hot to try to tell me why that's unfair.
Jim, Jim, I'm already thinking of Jimmy Boeheim. That's the Jimmy Boeheim Invitational. Jimmy Boeheim couldn't schedule it any better. Hey, you know what it gets to Bob again? That magical word. Ding-a-ding-a-ling, the cash register, 30,000, packed the place. Syracuse should have been placed in another region. I don't believe any team, I said it yesterday, should have the right to play on their court in a national tournament.
They do have Pearl Washington, the scintillating MVP of the Big East Championship. 1/4 of the way around the country. The East takes on the Midwest when we finally get to Destination Dallas, so we'll check out the Midwest with the top seed is Kansas after this.
The College Basketball Report is brought to you by National Car Rental, the official car rental company for NCAA championships. And by exceptionally smooth Michelob. Where you're going, it's Michelob.
To believe it.
Some close calls, Dick, in the Big 8 championship games in Kemper Arena. Kansas went to the wire against Oklahoma. They also did the same in a controversial finish against Iowa State, but they still have 6'11" sophomore Danny Manning, a new dimension.
He's Mr. Versatility. He's really a multi-dimensional athlete and just coming into his own. He wants the ball now a little bit more, and he's scoring more, and that means disaster for the opponents of Kansas.
Now, Johnny Orr, Iowa State head coach, will forever remember Jeff Hornacek trying to pass it to Sam Hill, down 2 points. Seconds ticking down, and the travel call called by Woody Mayfield, the trail official, the baseline official, had the foul, which could, if they had called it, gone to the line, forced in overtime. So, Johnny Orr. Go out west and also take a look at the Southeast as we continue on College Basketball Report. Wildcats in there as a #1 regional seed, but with the SEC tournament in Lexington, they win that for the 11th time, and here they are with a top regional seed in the Southeast.
They have earned the right to be a top seed, no doubt about it, playing great team defense. In fact, when I look at Kentucky, naturally their blender, the guy that the whole team blends around, is Mr. Walker, the Skywalker. But Roger Harden's playing clutch basketball, and Winston Bennett has developed the mentality of a star.
And in the SEC final, 13 off the bench from Cedric Jenkins, but Eddie Sutton, even though he's the top seed, doesn't relish playing Davidson on the court in Charlotte.
I don't like the idea of playing them in basically what would be called their home floor. I know they don't play all their games in Charlotte Coliseum, but certainly it will be a lot easier for all their fans to be there. And to me, the home court, probably the fans are more important than anything else.
He's worried already, even though he's #1 seed in the region.
Great coaching job. In fact, for the National Coach of the Year honors, I go 1 Mike Krzyzewski, 2 Eddie Sutton, and 3 Dancing Louis Carnesecca.
Well, Kentucky plays on Friday. He's playing in Baton Rouge on Thursday against LSU on the Bayou Bengals home court, and that is a sore point with Gene Cady.
It's a situation where I just gave a lecture to my kids about we don't care where we go or who we play, we just want to play in it. But this gets ridiculous. You know, we were Big Ten champions 2 years ago. We got to go play Memphis State on their home court, and now they send you to LSU's home court, one of the toughest teams in the nation. So, you know, the committee's got to be looking at some reason why we're not in there in a better draw each year, and you wonder why.
You wonder why also. He's the #6. I can understand why here, Dick. He's the #6 seed in the region, but that balance that he has to the advantage is taken away by going to Baton Rouge.
You took away exactly what I was going to say. He's #6 seed. LSU's #11, and they say, we would give you a nice reward by putting you in Baton Rouge. Beautiful. Hey, maybe Dale Brown will get his first win in a long time in an NCAA tournament game.
Well, he broke the schneid in the SEC. So back to the board we go because LSU will be hosting it in Baton Rouge on Thursday. Memphis State plays Ball State, the #3 seed in the MAC. They advanced. Virginia Tech takes on Villanova, and Georgia Tech meets Marist. Villanova last year with that storied finish in the NCAA championship that ended finally at Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. It defied all the odds. And finally, against Georgetown, shooting nearly 80%, it happened last year. It is a different team, but this team this year has won 21 games. But the heroes this year, who played last year, understand the differences, the nuances.
Last year we felt a little more confident, you know, because we really turned it on towards the end of the season, and we beat quite a bit of top-notch teams. And this year we haven't beaten as many good teams as we have like last year, but you know, we're here. That's the key.
They are there, which is essentially all that matters. So it's Virginia Tech playing Villanova in Baton Rouge, and then Georgia Tech taking on Marist. Those 4 games in Baton Rouge. Let's talk for a second about Villanova and the job. Well, we know what the job Raleigh's done. 21 wins real quietly.
Well, I don't want to give him any more publicity. He gets enough publicity. The guy, Matt Furjanic, former coach at Robert Morris.
Right.
He goes in, he's got to play the Hoosiers. He gets blown out. Now he goes to Marist. Things don't go any better. He gets Georgia Tech in the first round. Hey, he's got a bunch of foreigners.
That's
Maybe.
Right.
You know who should coach that team?
Who's that?
Billy Packer should be the coach of the Marist team. He loves foreigners.
Okay, 75% of the way through the board, 100% of the way towards making some new friends around the country. We will go to the final region. Out west with the St. John's Redmen are number 1. East, you get the good ones from the East going out to the West, and we analyzed this on SportsCenter yesterday. Dick, the West is a tough region. Top dog, St. John's.
Well, St. John's has got Mr. Berry, and Mr. Berry, to me, was deserving of that Player of the Year award. I think number 2, I'd put Johnny Dawkins, and number 3, Kenny Walker, because they've done so much for their teams to win.
But St. John's is going out West. They packed their, really, a nice reward. You win at the Garden, you go out, you play at Long Beach, and the way they won at the Garden is already part of lore in the Big Apple. It happened live on ESPN Saturday night. Let's pick it up now. Seconds to go. Lynn Berman and Bill Raftery.
The Big East Championship hangs in the next 19 seconds as Syracuse tries to hold a 1-point lead. They have no timeouts left.
Fancy that. I think they'll go for it right away if it's a good one. Step in so they get another chance at it. Because the defense has caused them to run some clock. It's going.
Rowan hits it with 9 seconds to go. Syracuse runs up the floor with no timeouts. The Pearl blocked, and it's over.
I guess Jim Boeheim's got to be scratching his head. The Pearl had beaten the Truth, and the Truth just reached back and with the block of the year. Is he your player of the year?
Oh, no question.
Truth?
But the Truth is absolutely the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, Mr. Berry. But Pearl Washington, he can't, you can't take it away. He wanted the ball. A lot of guys want to run. At that time, he says, give me the rock. I'm going to do it right in the Truth's face and show him that I'm the legend in New York. But Walter says, no, baby. This is rejection city. Thou shalt not enter my lane, Mr. Pearl.
The Truth and the Pearl, that's what it came down to. Walk this way. You stay there. Let's go this way and tell you exactly what's happening in Long Beach on... As I said, when the calendar says March, the gauge reads full in Louisville, and they're playing like that.
They got the great player now, Purvis Ellison. He's a freshman, but he played like a senior. He was absolutely brilliant against Memphis State. 20-some points, 13 rebounds, 3 block shots, our potential Olympian center. And I would go with Louisville if Carolina's not healthy. I don't believe St. John's is coming out of the West.
All right, we will see. It's very possible. It's a tough West. The champion could come out of the West, and we'll get some thoughts from you in just a second, some prize and predictions out of you. 64 teams. It all begins live noon Eastern time. We will run down our broadcast schedule, so grab a pencil. We'll be right back. It was wall to wall. Hey, it was quiet. You weren't
you
here.
missed me. You missed me. I know you did.
Okay, you're back Thursday because it's wall-to-wall coverage starting noon Eastern time. Start Thursday at noon Eastern time. We'll get a seatbelt for the coach, and you'll be with us for a full day of basketball. We'll see you then.
The College Basketball Report has been brought to you by National Car Rental, the official car rental company for NCAA championships.